Okay, this is day 2 of completing the square, and what we're going to do is we're just going to see one little change. And the one change we're going to see is that the first term won't always be x squared, and when that happens, what we have to do is we're going to have to divide all the terms by that leading coefficient. So as a review, what I'm going to start out with is one like the other day. So this one is when we have just a 1 out here in front of the x squared. So when that happens, we just separate our x's and our constant. So we'll add 15 to both sides. And I can put my boxes on both sides. And what goes in the box then is figured, again, by looking at b. So this is all review from yesterday. We've got b is 2. I've got half of b is 1. And then half of b squared is also 1. So we'd be putting 1 inside the boxes. This will factor x times x and 1 and 1. I need 2 positives in there, so I have a positive 1 and a positive 1x, which gives me a 2x. 15 plus 1 is 16. We can write this as a quantity squared. And then what I'm ready to do is square root both sides. So I get x plus 1 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 16. I can subtract 1 off both sides, and I get x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 4. So my answer ends up being negative 1 plus 4 and negative 1 minus 4. So I get the answers of negative 5 and positive 3. One of the things I want to mention to you in this video is how I would not have solved this using completing the square. I would have simply factored this. It's much easier to factor this to come up with your answers. Notice how you still get negative 5 and positive 3. It's a lot less work. Okay, moving on though, now we're looking at this example here. And what I have is, I do not have that leading coefficient of 1. So what I'm going to have to do is divide everything by that number, which happens to be a 2. So I end up getting x squared plus 4x equals 5. Notice the space I left so I can put in my boxes. What we're going to look at is our b term. Our b term is 4. Half of b is 2. And then we're going to square both of those, or that, which gives us 4 again. So I'll put 4 in the box. This does factor. It gives me x plus 2 and x plus 2. 5 plus 4 is 9. You can write this as a single quantity squared. And then square root each side. X plus 2 is equal to plus or minus 3. Subtract 2. X is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 3. That gives me 2 answers, negative 2 plus 3 and negative 2 minus 3. So that's a 1, and negative 2 minus 3 is a negative 5. So my answers are 1 and negative 5. One more example in this video, and we'll do a couple more in the next video. We're going to divide everything by 3. End up getting x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. I need to move my 15 to the other side so I have it ready to go for completing the square. X squared plus 2x plus the box equals 15 plus the box. Look at your b term, which is a 2. Take half of it, which is 1, and then square it. 1 squared is 1. So I'll put 1 in each of the boxes, and I'll factor it. This would be x plus 1 times x plus 1 equals 15 plus 1, which is 16. Single quantity squared, and then we'll square root both sides. So I get x plus 1 is equal to plus or minus 4. Subtract 1 from both sides, x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 4. So I've got negative 1 plus 4 and negative 1 minus 4. This gives me the answer of 3, and this will give me the answer of negative 5.